going on, guys? So Gotham has finally returned, and we got to see the first episode of Season 4, and I'm going to tell you guys right now, apologies in advance if this review is a little faster than normal. I am really pressed for time, as in I need to be at work in an hour, and yeah, I need to freaking film and edit this movie, film, video, blah, 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 all in 1 minute, blah, whatever. Let's do this. First, let's go ahead and talk about Penguin, because he was like the epicenter of this episode, because now he has basically privatized crime, or what did he say, a unionized crime, with, you have to have a, like an ID to freaking commit crime in Gotham, which I think is pretty awesome when you really think about it, because, do they gotta start paying taxes? Do criminals pay taxes now? I don't know, but, so I thought this was really interesting that they had this concept, and I thought it was actually pretty badass for a criminal to actually kind of do this, and Penguin was the reason that Gotham got back on its feet, which was really awesome. We found out that he did actually steal the Siren Club from Tabitha, because, she didn't have Barbara anymore to really, go crazy and protect everybody, although Tabitha should be able to protect herself when it comes to these kind of things. But Penguin stole back the club, so I know we did a lot of reviews on this, and I was like, I really hope they don't just have a, the same thing, because it looked exactly like the same club, but, it is, we found out that it's stolen. And I want to say, a lot of the reviews that we did, or I should say, trailer breakdowns, a lot of those scenes happened in this episode, and if you saw the preview to next week's episode, a lot of the stuff we've covered was also in that. So it's very possible that all of the trailers we have seen are just from the first 2 episodes, which blows my mind because there was a lot of stuff going on in those. Back to Penguin, we know that he cleaned up the city, stole back the Siren Club, and he unveiled Nygma being the center of, the Iceberg Lounge. And he had a very interesting story about that, Nygma has a crazy brain disease, and that he told Penguin that he wanted him to freeze him and then not thaw him out until they found a cure for it. And I thought that was a really good backstory, and I'm glad that Gotham actually did that and didn't just say oh yeah, here's Edward Nygma, blah, blah, blah. Because, people were going to question why somebody was encased in ice in a club, and it's a centerpiece of a club. And, so Penguin had an actual story behind it, and, of course, the media was like, oh, no, that's really good, blah, blah, blah. Because remember, the media thinks that Penguin and Riddler were still friends, because remember, the Penguin went missing, freaking Riddler had to take over duties, all of that jazz. So society doesn't really know that Penguin and Riddler hate each other, and it just it's like, oh yeah, he was my best friend, blah, 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 blah. Just to round out everything that happened with Penguin, we saw that once those 4 dudes showed up to the freaking, I wanted to call it Siren Club, but the Iceberg Lounge, he caught them, and he told, the whole media and everybody that was there that he is the reason that Gotham is safe and not the GCPD, and burp again. And Penguin was just trying to make a point, and Bruce stepped in, and he was talking about, he was like, I want to know what you're going to do with these people, but we'll kind of deal with that later. And then freaking Ivy went out and brain fart. Somebody rang the doorbell, so my brain was just like, blah. But anyways, yeah, so Ivy got treated like trash this whole episode, to be honest. One, she was kind of dumb. I mean, she's very, literal, I guess I'll say, when, he was like, oh, what's on ice? And she was like, he's on ice. He's there. He's in ice. he's frozen or whatever. She's just, I hope they don't make her this dumb the whole time. And I know she went from being a kid to a woman like that, but I don't know, dumb Ivy kind of, I can see getting annoying after a while, so I hope she smartens up and gets better, because the actual Poison Ivy from the comics is very intelligent, so I'm kind of hoping that we see more of that. And we saw at the end of this episode, she was the one that powered down the Iceberg Lounge, and now is this going to be the reason that Riddler gets out? It's very possible. Like I said, it's what I was talking about. I think she's going to be the reason. Penguin's going to piss her off somehow, which he did in this episode when he was going to kill all those people. I'd guess she's not cool with killing anymore. I don't really know what was going on there, because she's seen Penguin kill a lot of people before, and now she was going to, he was going to kill these 4 guys that don't have licenses, and she's mad? I don't really know. I was kind of confused with her character there. Are you just all of a sudden not cool with it? So I'm just really interesting. But speaking of Ivy, or transferring to Ivy, yeah, she got treated like shit a lot. Penguin told, leave Ivy. Oh, she looked gorgeous, by the way. And then, so she left. He treated her like, just trash or whatever the whole episode. And then when Selina and, Tabitha were in the club, Tabitha was like, move along. You know, like, nobody wanted to talk to freaking Ivy. So I don't know if she just got mad and she was like, screw all of y'all, and she, you know, took away the fun. But, yeah, that was very interesting, and I hope Ivy doesn't get treated like trash the whole season. But after Ivy hit the switch, those guys broke out of the grasp, tried to escape, and one of them gassed Penguin, and Penguin saw the Riddler out of the ice block and going blah, 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 blah. And we kind of knew that that was going to happen. That was going to be Penguin's biggest fear, was Riddler escaping the ice prison that he's in. Let's quickly talk about Gordon, how he's still badass Gordon. We saw him going into that place that was getting robbed, his freaking bar or whatever that he goes to get his coffee, and he freaking arrests that dude, and he's like, bitch, I don't give a fuck about your license. And so we got to see that, and then he got rolled later on because, you know, Gordon being Gordon, he's always the good cop, and all these other guys were like, man, life is good, and they beat the shit out of him. But he took on 4 dudes. Of course, he got his ass kicked. But I thought it was pretty awesome that Gordon is still trying to be that good cop, especially after that everything that happened last season. He's still trying to be that badass, like, moral compass for everybody. But, yeah, kind of got his ass kicked because he was taking away people's good times. And then we saw at the end he caught one of those dudes from the 4 gang, kind of letting everybody know, see, the GCPD can still do good, which I thought was cool. But that's basically all that happened with Gordon. Besides the stuff that happened with Bruce, again, we'll talk about that at the end. Another quick thing, we got to see a lot of Zsasz in this episode, and it's very possible that Zsasz is going to be a bigger character this season, which we totally need to happen. Not just 1 or 2 episodes Zsasz show ups, no, like Zsasz needs to be the main dude in a lot of these episodes, like Penguin's right-hand man is what I'm kind of hoping this is going to turn out to be. Because he's awesome. Zsasz is just really awesome. I love his personality on the show. I wish he would do the freaking cutting thing, but maybe that's a little too much for TV. I don't know. I want to say they showed that in season 1. Or, you know, maybe, like, we just see an episode where his, like, shirt's off and he just has all of these cuts. Like, I really want to see that. But either way, like, I'm still cool with Zsasz being the way he is. And with the season getting really darker, we should be able to see that, like, to be honest. But yeah, I can't wait to see more of Zsasz this season. Jumping over to Selina Kyle, we got to see her be a badass in training when she fought those 5 dudes in that alleyway. Like, oh, it was so awesome to see her kick all of their asses. But we found out one got up and was going to hit her from behind, and Tabitha was like, whatcha? And took her out, and we found out that she's training. She was all like, never turn your back on somebody unless you know they're completely out. So it's cool that we're actually seeing her be mentored right now by Tabitha, and that they're actually living together, because we also found out from that scene later when Zsasz found them, and she was all like, hey, like, we gotta move because, you know, I'm not gonna work for Penguin. We found out later that Selina was gonna work for Penguin anyways, but Tabitha showed up because she wants to watch over Selina. So you're seeing this big sister, little sister thing kind of happening, and then Tabitha is actually mentoring Selina to become Catwoman in the future. And then we had the scene with the cat and the bat on the rooftop, which I thought was so awesome. Bruce apologizes for the way he acted at the hospital, and he knows that Selina had good intentions. And then, you know, it was just really awesome, and Selina was up on, like, the rooftop, like, all dancing or whatever, like, going, you know, just being very dangerous. And she says, she's like, if you want to talk to me, get up here. And Bruce just gets up there, like, all badass with no fear whatsoever. And you can see it in Selina's face. She's like, oh, no fear? Oh. Because you know she's all about Bruce. Like, you just know it. She's just playing really hard to get, because it's just how she is. Yeah, so I thought that was awesome. They have a little conversation. Bruce talks about how Tabitha wouldn't be his choice for mentor, and all of that jazz, which is very hilarious because he just had a ridiculous mentor. But yeah, so we had that little conversation, and then of course Alfred interrupts everything once Bruce says that Selina's wearing a beautiful dress. And yeah, he's all like, yo, we got a situation downstairs. And that's when the whole Penguin thing happens, and Bruce steps in, and he's all like, I want to know what's happening with these, you know, these criminals. What are you going to do? Please turn them over to the police. And Penguin says no. And that is like, that's, you can just feel that that is the start between the Batman and the Penguin. Like, he knows that he's going to have to deal with Penguin eventually. And I just, this episode had a lot of little things that were very Batman. And I was just like, oh my god. And let's go ahead and run those down right now. At the freaking club, right before the power went out, Bruce tells Alfred, he's all like, Alfred, I got my things in the car. Go get them and I'll take these guys out. And he's all like, no, we're not going to do that, Bruce. All right? And before you know, Alfred would usually just be like, here you go, Master Bruce, and boom, there's his suit, and he starts kicking everybody's ass. But we know that Bruce is not that good yet. He's not able to freaking be able to be in 2 places at once like Batman usually is in the comic books. No. So Alfred was like, no, you're gonna chill, like we're not gonna have this. So I thought that was pretty awesome. Before all of those shenanigans started, we saw how Bruce got the information he was looking for from Penguin by kind of playing Jedi mind tricks on him and telling him like, oh, I got a question about the licenses, like, and he was all like, this would be between you and me, and he was all like, oh, would you be for that? And he was all like, if these licenses were in effect, my parents would be, you know, 3 years ago, my parents would still be alive. And he kind of gets Penguin to go ahead and give him how he works the whole situation. And he tells him that little punk dude, yeah, looks a little goofy, freaking has all of the licenses. And then we see that scene later in the episode that Bruce takes all of the licenses from people, which gets him in trouble at the end when he falls through the window because he's trying to catch some dudes breaking in and the cops show up. I kind of thought Bruce was going to show he had a license, but then again, he's Bruce Wayne, so they'd be like, why is Bruce Wayne stealing stuff? You know, that would have been kind of a question. So we know that Bruce actually gets caught by the cops at the end, and I'm pretty sure we're going to see that next week. And he, you know, Lucius is going to say he got in a fight, so we're going to get the suit next week already, which I thought it was going to be at least 3 or 4 episodes in. No, we're getting the suit next week, and I think it's because Bruce gets taken to the GCPD where Lucius Fox is working, blah, 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 blah. The rest will soon to be history. Going back to more Batman stuff, he does the freaking shadow turning away, showing up thing, and I was like, whoa! I thought that was freaking awesome. When he goes to talk to Gordon, remember that first photo I showed you, I told you it was going to be him talking to Gordon at the GCPD, and it was just awesome. Gordon was there, he shows up, and he's like, oh, Bruce, I didn't hear you come in. And then Bruce is talking to him about the whole Penguin thing, and like, yo, you're not going to give up, right? Because you know you're a good cop, you got to do this kind of stuff. And then Gordon, he's like, you should come to the house for dinner sometime. And then Gordon turns around, he's like, yeah, we should do that. You want to what? And he was gone, like Batman would. Hold on, that was kind of cheap. You know, because Bruce, when Gordon turned around, Bruce was gone, like Batman would. That better? No? Whatever. I'm not feeling it right now, because I gotta be at work. To round out the Batman traits, we saw Bruce taking on 2 responsibilities and not focusing on just one thing. He wanted to fight crime and be ready for Ra's al Ghul, and he wanted to try to take out the Penguin and the crime thing at the same time, which Batman is always juggling a whole bunch of things at once, and we're starting to see that now that Bruce knows he's going to have to be doing a bunch of multiple things at once, which I thought that was pretty awesome because, you know, that's something Batman would do. And then we also got to hear the Bat voice. And what did you guys think of it? I didn't really think he was doing much different with his voice. Like, you know, he made it a little bit deeper, but there wasn't really much of a Bat voice there, in my opinion. Do let me know what you guys are talking, or how you feel about that in the comment sections down below. The last thing I want to talk about is the Scarecrow. I thought this was awesome. They gave him a good origin. They made his character develop so well in one episode. And I know that sounds kind of weird, like, what? Of course you're pulling off of what happened last year, but the way he's just so scared of the Scarecrow with the fear toxin in there, and the way they're controlling him and making him how to do stuff, like, he just cannot stand a Scarecrow, and then the villains who are torturing him actually make him overcome his fear by locking him in a closet with the Scarecrow, and he cannot escape, so the only thing he can do is become the Scarecrow and overcome his fear. And you can hear it where the Scarecrow was talking to freaking Crane, and I thought it was just so awesome to see that happen. And like, it was just, oh man, I can't wait to see what this character is going to do the rest of the I do want to say those 4 guys, the hick dude, like the leader, was trash. Like, I didn't really like his acting. I didn't think he was believable. He got shot and he was just like, oh, my finger. And then like when he was talking to Crane and stuff, like I just felt like he was a guy, I didn't believe his character. Like I was gonna say, I just felt like he was a guy trying to act. But I don't know how you guys felt. Like, that guy was taking me out of the episode. I was just like, I don't believe this guy at all. Like, why is he the leader? The other guy that was kind of, I guess, like the dumber dude that was all, like, at the end when he's all like, Crane? I feel like he maybe would have been better. Like, I kind of believed his kind of character that was going on. But the hick kind of dude, I was not feeling that dude. his character was just like, meh. Also, I want to point out that the place that Crane was at, or where they got Crane from, didn't look like Arkham. They never called it Arkham. They didn't show Arkham. So I guess this was just some other loony bin that had a shitload of people in it, though. And it could be where we're going to see more of those. Remember those creepy guards or whatever, those creepy, like, worker people that I said were more than likely maybe working with Scarecrow or a part of Arkham? This could be a center where we're going to get more crazier villains this season. Maybe Professor Pig is in this place, or there's other crazier villains like the Ventriloquist that are here that are not at Arkham. So it's very possible that this other site, which has no name right now, and they didn't call it Arkham, like I said, could be the place where we're going to get a lot of our villains, because they made it look very colorful in this episode. And the last thing I want to say about this episode is where freaking Jonathan Crane was, you know, sketching on the ground. Is it just me, or did that not look like freaking the Batman animated series Scarecrow, kind of, sort of? I thought it looked awesome, and I was like, oh, that looks cool! But yeah, I don't know. That was, this episode was good. I'm excited for Season 4 of Gotham. I'm excited to get back more into this style of filming. I'm pressed for time, and I'm also not used to filming standing up because the reviews have been gone for a really long time. But that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Do let me know what you thought. Card stop recording. Do let me know what you thought of this episode and what you think is going to happen in Season 4 of Gotham. Let me know in the comment sections down below. Guys and gals, don't forget, if you ever want to support this channel, you can check out the Patreon like these awesome people did, or you can come hang out with us over on Twitch. It's a good time. Or you can always do the OG thing and give this video a thumbs up and share it with all of your Gotham buddies. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button for all things nerdy and geeky on this channel. As always, I'm your host, JUICEbox. Remember, when you wake up in the morning, ask yourself something. Have I had my daily dose of juice? See you guys next time. Bye!